Everyone loves a good chase card, whether it's the shining cards of the original Wizards of the Coast era or the hyper rares of today. From unique artworks to difficult pull rates to unique releases, secret rares have always held a special place of endearment for collectors. Today, we're talking about the origins of what may be the very first English secret rare released, a secret so shrouded in mystery that it took over 20 years to discover its origin. I'm Pokemon Classics, and today is a history lesson in Pokemon trading cards that you're not going to want to miss. Hey everybody, welcome back to Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics, like first edition Bellsprout, never goes out of style. You know, when we're talking about Pokemon investing on this channel, there's really 5 key factors that make up a good collectible. These fundamentals include rarity, scarcity, condition, popularity, and history. And together, these 5 factors generally converge to define items that are ultimately truly collectible, desirable, valuable. Today, we'll be focusing on one of my favorite cards, a card that exhibits all 5 of these factors. This is the first edition Pikachu promo card number 1. Now, generally regarded as the Ivy Pikachu, the first edition variant here was a card that was originally thought to be an error card for over 2 decades, until recently discovered evidence surfaced suggesting that it may actually be the very first secret rare card released by Wizards of the Coast. But before we get into that, what really is a secret rare? A secret rare is generally a special set card released in sealed product, whether those be booster boxes or some other form of official release. Generally, these cards are outside the typical numbering system for the actual set itself, though it doesn't have to be. These cards can also come in a number of different unique forms, such as the Shining cards from the Neo series, the Crystal cards from later WotC, and even the Hyper Rares and Amazing Rares that we see today. Often, these secret rares feature unique artworks, unique release circumstances, and often unique pull rates that are much more difficult to acquire. Now, this gives collectors something to chase after and fulfills that role that any collector is seeking in a given set. Taking a look at some of the early secret rare releases by Wizards of the Coast reveals a fascinating history. In about 2002, the Neo Destiny set featured 8 shining cards with embossed holographic patterns, unlike anything previously seen in the Pokemon series. Now, these cards were originally numbered 106 to 113 out of 105. To add to the collectability, these cards had an exceptionally difficult pull rate, with 3 to 4 shining cards being found per box. Now, even dating before this was the Neo Revelation set, which was actually the first set to feature shining Pokemon. In this set could be found shining Magikarp and shining Gyarados, which, unlike Neo Destiny, actually featured original regular holographic foil to them. These cards were numbered 65 and 66 out of 64, and generally had a pull rate of 1 to 2 shining cards per box. Now, this is all put into the context of the very first Wizards of the Coast English secret rare known to date, at least as of last year. And that was Dark Raichu, a holographic card in the Team Rocket set. Now, Dark Raichu features an original artwork that was produced by Wizards of the Coast, totally unique to the English set release. This card was numbered 83 out of 82, and was later reprinted in Japanese as well as English in the Legendary Collection, both within the theme deck as well as in the actual set itself. Now, all this is to say that perhaps there was one additional one that's been overlooked for a number of years, decades even, and that's the first edition Jungle Pikachu. Now, the Jungle Pikachu is rumored to have a pull rate of 1 in every 10 jungle boxes. I'm not sure how this could ever be confirmed, but that's at least the rumor. For the longest time, this card was believed to be an error card from the promo set, but due to new evidence that has recently been discovered by fellow E4 forum members, it's beginning to look like this card may have actually been intended as the first secret rare ever. And to me, that's really exciting.
Spiro, Pikachu, what is this Pikachu? This is a promo card. What is this doing in here?
Now that's actually a really good question, so let's dive into some of its history. Now what we do know is that the Jungle set was released on July 16th, 1999, and it was immediately met with massive popularity. In fact, the set was originally scheduled to release in August, but was rushed forward to help meet some of the consumer demand left over from base set. Just like base set, Jungle was immediately popular and sold out within a matter of weeks. At roughly the same time, the Black Star promo series was also making its debut, with the Pikachu #1 being distributed in leagues across the country. Now this led to some discrepancy over why certain Pikachus had the first edition stamp and why others didn't. Moreover, the first edition variants seem to have been released in early versions of the Jungle boxes, while the other Pikachus were distributed as promo cards at leagues. This led to speculation of where these Pikachus were coming from and led many to conclude that this was actually inserted into the packs as a mistake. However, new evidence has come to light suggesting that this may have been an intentional release. In March of 2020, a fellow E4 forum member, StylusPT, created a post that shed new light on the Ivy Pikachu mystery. This post included pictures of the Trainer Magazine Volume 2, published on July 1st of 1999 in Japan. What was unique about this magazine, though, is that it included pictures of prototype and early renderings of Jungle booster packs. Unique about them was the inclusion of this phrase, "Capture the rare Pikachu card." Now, what could that be referring to? Everybody knows that there's a first edition Pikachu in the Jungle set, but it's just a common card with nothing particularly notable about it besides being a little bit on the chunky side.
I found the other Pikachu, guys. This is the other Pikachu. Completely different attacks and everything. What just happened? Am I special? Like, do I get the other Pikachu? I'm just blown away. I don't know what this is.
That's probably not the Pikachu that Wizards of the Coast intended. So naturally, it would make sense that this card was released intentionally. Further evidence of its intentional release comes from well-respected community member TCA Gaming. Now, Rusty is no stranger to items of historical significance, and that certainly seems to be the case when it comes to the unveiling of his prototype Jungle First Edition pack art. Now, this pack features several distinguishable changes, including a different color palette, different Pokemon artwork, but one noticeable change helps validate this theory from earlier, and that's the inclusion of that same phrase, "Capture the rare Pikachu card." So here we have a second source alluding to a Pikachu chase card within the Jungle set, and that would really only make sense in the context of the first edition Jungle promo Pikachu. Now, this begs the question, how many were issued, and why haven't more been found? It's been speculated that there's 1 in every 10 boxes, and where that number comes from, I can't really say for sure. However, what we do know is that there has been a documented box break with a pack opening drawing one of these cards.
Anybody who's watching this, please forward this to any other PokeTuber that they'll love to see this. I have no clue. I'm gonna put this right here to show that this is ridiculous. It's not an uncommon, common, doesn't even belong in the set. It's a promo card, guys.
On the other hand, heavy collectors that have opened a number of boxes like King Pokemon, Gary, has noted that he's never pulled one himself. So there's a major disparity in the origins of this card. Nevertheless, it seems like there's a reasonable theory emerging, and perhaps it's even a more likely theory for this than the card being issued as an error card. The theory goes like this. The first edition Ivy Pikachu was originally intended as a limited edition chase card intentionally inserted into early production booster boxes before the idea was scrapped or potentially forgotten amidst the rushed release schedule. Since the Jungle set was pushed up a month from its original release date, this seems plausible. And although speculative, this would explain everything, including why the rare Pikachu pack art alluded to a chase card to begin with, the absence of Ivy Pikachu on any sheets known to date, as well as my own personal anecdotal experience, which I'll share with you now. For me personally, I vividly remember visiting my local gaming store. It was called Shinder's, and I was seeking out Jungle cards during the craze that was Jungle. Now, when I got there, it was immediately evident that I would not be able to afford the holographic cards in the main display case locked away behind glass. So I turned my attention to the bargain display case, the ones that are in the flippable pages but still behind a protective barrier. That's where I found it. Not one, but 3 first edition Ivy Pikachus. They're about $5 a piece if my memory serves correct. Now, I didn't realize that these cards were inherently valuable or inherently more rare than the other cards in the set, but I do remember there were a few factors that drew me specifically to this card, to this artwork. The first one was that it was a promo card. The idea of a promo card was a completely new concept. This was a novelty, and it was something that instantly drew my attention. Secondly, the artwork on this card is actually really unique. Never before had I seen that graphic 3D animation of a Pokemon printed on a card, and so that's something that I thought was really cool. Lastly, it's a Pikachu card, and Pikachu is the franchise mascot, and so who wouldn't be attracted to that type of card that has that history attached to it? I will also say that I thought the artwork was pretty cool, so I bought all 3 versions of that card. Now, unfortunately, I only have one of them left. The others have been sold over time, over the last 20 years or so, but I'm very happy to still have this card in my possession, and it's one of the cards that I actually value the most in my collection. So that raises the question, what is it worth? And ultimately, value is determined by whatever someone is willing to pay for it. However, as a collectible, I love the fundamentals: rarity, scarcity, condition, popularity, and history. This card, I believe, has all of those 5 things. In fact, if we look at the population report, in a PSA 8, there are 37 graded copies. In a PSA 9, there are 71 graded copies. And in a PSA 10, there are only 9 graded copies. Personally, I love this card for 3 reasons. First, I love the artwork on this card and its unique history as the first and only first edition promo card in all of Wizards of the Coast. It has strong market fundamentals, and I think those are worthy of appreciation. Second, I love this card because it connects a unique moment in my own childhood, connecting my past, my present, and that's something I feel you really can't put a price on. Most importantly, I love this card because it demonstrates how the hobby is dynamic and constantly changing. There's always something new to discover, and here we are, years later, coming together as a community to make a discovery 20 years in the making. And to me, that's something that's really cool and really my favorite thing about this hobby and this community. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for taking the time to visit with this history lesson on the first edition Jungle Ivy Pikachu. I find it fascinating, and a special shout out to the members of the E4 forum and StylusPT for originally jump-starting this investigative research. It was really cool to watch all these discoveries go down, and I'm really fortunate to have a community of people that's bringing that extra momentum and inertia into the hobby. It's really enjoyable. Anyway, guys, till next time, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Take care, everybody, and good night. Bye, everybody.